Everybody, welcome to BearsWave.com, podcast number 2, April 16th, 2012. March 16th, 2012.
Just lost a lot of money.
You know what? I'm glad that you were paying attention, though. That's a good sign. No, I'm a CPA. It's the end of tax season. Yeah. I mean, corporate tax deadline was yesterday, so I just barely survived.
Was it really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Corporate tax.
So you're saying now I'm late.
I hate to be a downer for everybody talking about taxes, but yeah. So welcome to BearsWave.com podcast, March 16th, 2012, episode number 2, coming to you from Bears 25th floor surf shack. Say it 5 times fast. Bears 25th floor surf shack, high above Waikiki Beach, and we're looking out right now at some decent surf. The surf's come up since last week. It's starting to fade again. So it's time for you guys to wax up your surfboards and let's paddle out. Let's have a good night. We're going to have a 90-minute podcast today. We got a microphone number 1. Oh, that's me. Microphone number 2.
Shane Woznick.
Microphone number 3.
Chuck.
God, you guys are merciless. And microphone number 4, we're going to have microphone number 4 is going to be Peter Isacksen
He's our guest.
From Hollywood here in about 45 minutes, halfway through.
Hollywood, something special.
Well, he's a surfer. That's the main thing. So, so we want to let you guys know on Twitterverse you can follow me at Bears Wave on the Twitterverse, and Shane, you can follow you at Shane Woznick.
Yes.
And what about you, Chuck?
Chuck Inman 3.
Is that like with Roman numerals?
It's with the number 3.
Are there any spaces in that?
None.
So you're spacey, but no spaces in that. And then, you guys, if you want to, we'd love it if you'd share this broadcast with your friends. When you watch it on YouTube, you can, share it on your Twitter or on your.
Yeah, and please comment when you check it out.
And you can share it on Facebook. And if we put it on your wall, repost it. That would be really cool. We appreciate it.
Really, really cool.
And at BearsWave.com, we got all kinds of videos and stuff there too. So if you want to know where we're at, if you want to check out the surf, you can look at the surfnewsnetwork.com, right, Shane?
Yes. The webcam. And
the webcam is for Waikiki.
Publix, right?
And you can see, you can see Publix Beach, yeah. Okay, so everybody had a good week. We're here. It's Pauhana. That means it's Pow work, finish work. And it's Aloha Friday. So everyone's had a productive week. How'd your week go, Shane?
Good. Really good. I was learning more and more about Cinema 4D.
What is that?
Cinema 4D?
Yeah, it's awesome. It
sounds like my report card from junior high. Come on.
You got all Fs.
Come on.
You didn't get 4Ds.
It kind of was, though.
For what? What was it? For what? In junior high school?
Yeah. I'm not going to give you any more
information.
What,
you were an 8th grader or something?
Yeah.
8th grade was like the best 4 years of my life.
Don't dig up those files. It's just going to
they finally graduated me just to get rid of me into high school.
Yeah. Well, anyways, the program Cinema 4D, it's awesome. You can make Transformers you can make your own epic fight scenes and stuff. It's all CG and.
What's CG?
I know this.
You know
completely.
CG?
It's computer graphics.
Yes.
Completely goofy.
3D animation.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. Yep.
Shane, if you guys don't know, he's a filmmaker, and you've got.
I put a test up online, so if people want to check it out, they go to videosforgoofs.com.
What?
Video for Goofs. I mean YouTube. Video for Goofs at YouTube.
Well, what is that? Is that your?
VIDEO 4, the number 4, and then Goofs GOOFS.
Is that your particular?
Yeah, it's just a website, YouTube website I have. Where I just throw up.
How cool!
Just
did you throw up? What? Huh?
I throw up.
Must not be very good.
Upload.
Throwing up on.
Oh, you uploaded it.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I'm sorry.
Okay. Are you up to it?
I mean upload. Yeah, upload to YouTube, and they're just creative, creative exercises that I work on. That they're not really because I have 2 different YouTubes. One's just for fun, just exercises, creative exercises. So I just throw them up, see what people think. You can check it out there.
Cool. And I know you've been, by the way, if you want to see some of Shane's other videos, go to bearswave.com. He's got lots of tandem surfing videos up there, right? Mostly. So you go to bearswife.com to check that out. How about you, Chuck? How's your week?
My week was great, Bear. Thanks for asking.
I thought you were going to tell me.
Well, I had a very productive week. I worked and made some money, and I look forward to coming to Friday's podcast with you, Bear.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Amen. You know, I got a question for you. I got just a lot of. I come with me today with a treasure chest full of questions, and this
is for Shane.
This is for you. This book of yours that I hear so much about. I get all this stuff on my Facebook page, and I can't read it because it's not out yet. You know, I get little tidbits here and there, and sometimes I don't have. You know, I'm a businessman. I'm all about business. I go up fast. I got stuff going on.
Rock and roll.
I don't have time for this, that. But just can you give me an umbrella theme?
Oh, you could listen to it while you're on your moped.
But
I mean,
today
Harley.
Right here, I'm with you. Right here. What's this book all about? Give me like a foundation. Give me like.
Wow, I don't want to dwell too much on the book, but you know what? I just sent it off to the publisher. It's into typeset as of today.
I don't know what that means.
Well, you know, I work with my personal editor, Lou Aronica.
Personal editor.
Yeah, he used to be the guy who. Lou Aronica is like Obi-Wan Kenobi. He was the guy who came up with the concept for doing the Star Wars books, and ran that for a long time.
Ones, right? The first book.
So did you use the Force?
Well, he didn't write them. He managed them.
Now, right?
Yeah, but he managed that whole.
He did when they first came out.
Yeah, and then he did a lot of the. And you know who he was? He was
what year though? Like was this,
I don't know. But yeah, so he's my personal editor. He really mentored me. Like he was my Obi-Wan Kenobi for that. And then Kate Hartson is my editor at Hachette Books, and she finally, you know, they read through it. They had some minor changes here and there we had to make, and then what goes into copy edit, that's where they figure out if you spell good or if your grammar's good or if you misquoted or plagiarized anybody.
Spell good.
I think I smelled.
Your grammar's good.
No, I think I smell really good, and then they go, no, we're talking about spell. So, yeah, and so it went off to press, and it's going to be for sale in the bookstores sometime middle of July.
Really?
And it's going to be downloadable on Kindle and Nook and maybe the iPad. And it's called Deep in the Wave. It's like all surfers have experienced. I mean, I think all surfers know that kind of spiritual connection they feel when they're in the water. It's a lot about that kind of. It's bringing a lot of people who don't surf into the water with me too, and experience surfing, experience tandem surfing, and talk about a lot of lessons that all surfers have kind of learned, you know, about life and about God and about, you know.
Well, I'm curious. What when you were setting out on this voyage to write this book, what story, what experience that you knew you were going to share that you were most excited about?
Well, that would be, well, you know, I love tandem surfing. It's.
But that's not what the book's about, right?
No, but you asked me what was the main thing.
That's correct. I did.
Because I began to realize that tandem surfing, you know, the man and the woman on a surfboard, there's a lot of lessons to be learned there about, you know, about life and about God. And I just thought a lot about how, you know, the woman on the board has to really flow with the man. She has to really be tuned into his energy and to just go with that flow. And the guy's got to be tuned into that wave. And they kind of, together, they ride that wave. And it started making me think about, you know, the wave kind of being like the Holy Spirit and the man on the board kind of being like Jesus, and the woman on the board kind of being like a soul in love with God, and how you respond to the flow of that of the man. And I just remember, I remember once paddling into a really nice wave, and you know, wanting to drop in on this wave, and my partner kind of hiccuping and not dropping in, and I thought, what a great wave we could have had. I mean, I saw what a great wave that is. We were paddling hard, and all of a sudden she just kind of didn't want to make the drop, and we had a late drop, and it didn't go well. And I'm just thinking about, I remember how Jesus said, "Oh, you have little faith." And I'm realizing what he really meant was, dudes, ride this wave with me. I got these great waves that I've sent to you. Just have a little bit of faith in me, you guys, you know. And also, I think really, when you're surfing, it's a wild thing that you're doing. You're out in a hostile environment. You can't dictate anything to the surf. You have to go with the flow of that energy, and just how to really want to have a real, full, rich life, an adventurous life. It takes being willing to yield or to throw yourself into the wildness of God's will.
What's so hostile about surfing? What's hostile about that environment?
I'm not saying it's that you can't breathe underwater.
Well, maybe you can.
and surf, and then you can experience your wipeouts out there. You can be not just held down, but that sort of thing. But what I'm saying is, I think that a lot of people miss out. I think a lot of people miss out on the wildness of God and the adventure that He has in store for you. But if you want to experience life to the fullest, you got to be willing to throw yourself out there, paddle out.
Yeah.
So I don't want to dwell anything more on that, but that's one of the things
we kind of
touch
talked
on.
about it last podcast, but yeah, I mean.
What's that?
We just already talked about it.
About what?
It's a hostile environment.
Yeah.
When you're out in the water, you're all up in there. You're all up out in the water, and the waves start coming, and you start freaking out. All right, I'm probably just describing an event that
something you had, haven't you?
Bear, I don't know if I read it somewhere or heard it somewhere, but the words Bloody Sunday.
Oh. I coined those words, but I wasn't the only one who did. Other people coined. I mean,
wait, that doesn't make sense. Only one person can coin.
No, seriously. Of course, Bloody Sunday. I don't know if that's ever been used before, but I wrote in my journal, my little leather journal.
I think you too coined it.
Well, I wrote down in my journal after experience the biggest day I've ever experienced at Teahupo'o in Tahiti.
Tell us about that day. I've actually never heard this complete story myself, so that's why I'm asking.
Well, I coined the phrase Bloody Sunday because it was, I think, the bloodiest day in surfing history. We were out there at Teahupo'o in Tahiti. Teahupo'o means Teahupo'o is how you say it. And the surfers have called it Teahupo'o, and now the really cool people call it Chopes. But I called it Bloody Sunday. When I come back, Crazy Todd saying, "Were you there? Were you there? Were you there? Where?" On Bloody Sunday, on Bloody Sunday. So it had been used, I think Surfers Village also, and other people coined the same phrase. But I was there with Jeremiah, my son. I was there with my friend Howard from California, and we thought we'll go check out Teahupo'o. We'll go see what Teahupo'o, what's going on at the end of the road, and it was just extremely gnarly.
Well, that's not enough detail for me. I want to know the story. I want to know from the way the water felt on your fingers as you were paddling out, and
I'll tell you what.
Your throat and.
First of all, to get there, you got to take a boat. It's about a mile out, I would say. I don't know. In Tahiti, the reefs, there's not a lot of places to surf there. It's mostly where they've cut a hole in the reef. And there is a hole where they cut in the reef, that the reef kind of encircles the island. And that's why those islands are so great for canoe paddling. People paddle a lot inside that reef. And first thing is we went down to the boats to try to hire a boat. And I'm looking around, and I'm going, I don't trust these boats, and their captains look like people like Chuck or that I would never trust with my life.
No offense taken.
Yeah. And so first of all, we had to hire a boat, and it was kind of cool because boats are coming in. I'm seeing guys step out of the boats with their heels kind of sliced off. And
high heels?
Their heels, actually,
heels, okay.
Malik Joyeux jumping off one of the boats with his heel with duct taped together.
How many people are at Teahupo'o?
When we went out there was probably 100.
Let's call it Chopes.
But
did they all take off from that beach?
Well, you got to go out with a jet ski, or you got to go out with on one of the boats. And you could paddle out too. People are out there in kayaks and things like that. But this guy came in, kind of gave me a toothless grin, smiled at me, and threw me a line. And so I grabbed the rope, pulled his boat in, and I said, I'll go out with that guy. I trust that guy. But Malik Joyeux was coming off the boat, and he and his buddy both had heels that were sliced up by the reef. And Malik ended up, living that day, but he came out here to pipeline on a relatively smaller day, which can be more dangerous because it's breaking on the shallower reef, and he actually lost his life about 4 months there.
So it was low tide?
Well, when Malik died here on the North Shore, about 4 months later at Pipe.
Wow.
So we took the boat out, and I'm telling you, I've never felt anything like that. We're a mile inland, and there's tremendous upwelling and surging and pouring and pushing and pulling of water. And we're cruising along, and we see Laird Hamilton there next to a little house, how they're built out over the water, and he's got kind of a corral there with jet skis and roped in, and he's getting ready to go out. And we go out to Teahupo'o, and there's someone on our boat. There's someone on one of the other boats with a little baby. They think it's like Disneyland. Oh, we're gonna go out and check out Teahupo'o.
You mean they were tourists?
Yeah.
Wow.
And we had our surfboard, so they take us out there, and I've never seen anything like it. people who know Teahupo'o, it's like a very hollow wave, but it's not like you were saying last week. It's not so much how big it is; it's how thick and gnarly it is. When Teahupo'o comes up, when the wave comes up to the reef there, it actually stops, and it just starts sucking up water until there's no water on the reef, and the lip is probably 8 to 10 feet thick.
So you finally got out to the lineup.
Yeah, and it was just really sketchy, and I knew that I wasn't gonna catch any of those. Well, first of all, you couldn't catch it without a jet ski. You'd have to have a very high powerful jet ski.
So it was toe in only.
Toe in only. It's the biggest, sickest, thickest surf that I think's ever been at Teahupo'o, and it was gnarly. And so what happened is we got off the boat and we paddled over. And these are the things that I can remember. I remember Garrett McNamara being so deep inside the barrel. You can look right down the barrel of that wave like it's a barrel of a gun or a cannon. He was so deep. He was hundreds of yards deep inside this barrel, I would say. And there was someone else actually in front of him surfing. And eventually that wave closed out. He got dragged across that reef and made into hamburger.
What? Okay, so you jumped off the boat, paddled over a little bit. What were you riding? What were you on?
I don't know, just a 9.6 surfboard.
Floating.
Nothing. I didn't go there to surf Teahupo'o. I mean, I didn't plan on surfing big waves. I just took my regular surfboard. So we get.
Go ahead.
So we get over there. So Garrett McNamara gets dragged across the reef, and of course, his towing partner can't go get him until the waves subside. And when he finally, about a minute or two later, he's able to go into the reef and grab him, and they come back out, and now Garrett's driving that jet ski, comes right by me in the lineup, and his whole side of from his ankle to his, his hip was just hamburger. But he had a big grin on his face because he had ridden probably the gnarliest wave he's ever ridden, and he lived to tell about it. And then Jeremiah was sitting in the lineup there, and I remember there was people kind of hovering in their jet skis waiting for their turn. And when you drop someone in like that, come in, whip the guy in, and then you come down the line to the left, and you're trying to track that guy towing that rope because you don't know where he is. He's over the ledge from you, so that when he pops out, he can grab the leash and take off. And so this guy was kind of cruising slowly, and I see these two guys in a jet ski, kind of waiting for the rope to pass them, and then suddenly they realize it's too late, and they're going over the falls. They're just sitting there, and suddenly the guy driving it jumps off, and the surfer behind him jumps off, and then that jet ski goes over the falls. And
that was the one that was in the...
No, you mean when you saw the person dodging the jet ski?
Yeah.
No, that was a different day.
Okay.
So that jet ski went over the falls into the reef, and you never would have known that there was a jet ski. It wasn't broken. It was just gone. It was disintegrated. There was no evidence that there had ever been a jet ski.
They didn't recover anything?
There was nothing to recover. I mean, there might have been a plastic shell. I mean, it was just destroyed. And then we saw another jet ski go over the falls. That one got destroyed but not obliterated. And I saw a photographer sitting there, click, 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 and then he was just gone. And, what's weird about it is Howard was sitting in the lineup, and I'm sitting there, and I'm looking at him, and he's looking out to see, you paddle out, here comes the big set, and every now and then if it came more from the west, it was more sketchy. So a big set comes and you're paddling, but you don't have to paddle that far to avoid it because it hits a spot, it stops and sucks up water. And I'm looking at Howard, and I'm going, Howard, you better paddle, because he's standing there, and the wave is actually receding. It's sucking so much water that's going backwards. Oh. And he was not in it. And then all of a sudden I look, and the tail of his board is hanging out over the lip, and he doesn't even know it. And luckily he took a couple strokes and avoided that. But yeah, I don't know I can't remember all the other details. But
who is this Howard guy? It's got me nervous.
Howard's one of my probably longest surfing buddy that there's some people I knew back in Santa Cruz, but he was a friend of mine in California, and we used to surf together, do the dawn patrol every Saturday morning, Sunday morning. Wow. But yeah, so he was lucky not to get caught up in that. So we saw a lot of, and what was gnarly about it was you're in the water on your surfboard, and there's all these boats, and mostly with cameramen in there filming, and then all of a sudden you want to scramble and get out of the way, and you got a boat coming right up the back side of you.
Yeah.
And they act really casual about it, but man, one of those boats ends up in that channel, and it's horrific. So yeah, I didn't drop in that day, and had no intention to, but just paddling out in that water was like being in a sacred place, and it was just feeling the surge and the movement of the water was was amazing, and that people could make those drops and live. I think Laird that day went out, and I think that ended his winter season. I think he hyperextended his leg. And we just saw a lot of. I saw the sickest wipeouts and the most incredibly powerful waves I've ever seen. So when I came home, Crazy Todd meets me at the beach. Todd Robertson, who I think is going to be here next Friday, and he said, "Were you there? Were you there, bro?" And I go, "Where?" He said, "You go there on Bloody Sunday." I go, "Yeah, I was there on Bloody Sunday." And in my journal, I wrote all this down. Yeah, that was a gnarly day.
One time I was coming in from Queens, and I was coming in through Baby Queens with Tiffany.
Mm-hmm.
And I got a reef cut on my finger.
I saw that earlier.
It really hurt.
You can get a paper cut.
Yeah.
And I'm a CPA. I live on the edge.
Tiffany was really mad at me. I got held down for about 4.5 seconds. I came up. I was like, it was really bad. But I got over it. I got over it. But it was tough.
Hey there. Hi, nice to meet you.
Oh, new blood.
Exactly.
And we got Peter Isacksen in the house.
Good
to see you.
Good to see you.
So we got Peter Isacksen in the house. Here, what kind of cigar are you smoking, Peter?
A little Rocky Patel Decade.
What is that?
He's just a guy that makes great cigars, and I've met him a few times, and you hung out with him, and he just
Really?
is like a nice cigar. So
he made.
he makes these deals. So
Well, does he hand roll those, or that? Because mine was hand rolled by very beautiful maidens in Puerto
Really?
Rico. That's what I imagine.
I see. Yeah, Rocky doesn't bring that same kind of imagery to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we're glad you're here. Can you help us out? We know that you're basically famous because you know Lance Mackey.
Exactly.
Our good friend and
Nothing
tandem
more needs to
surfer.
be said.
Yeah.
Hi.
But we've got Nanina, our masseuse, is just
I'm never
leaving.
leaving.
You're late. No,
Never.
you're late. Nanina's just leaving. You missed the massage. So we know that you're a producer, commercials and sports, and an actor, but most importantly, you're a surfer.
Right.
So that's what we want to hear about.
Try to be.
We want to hear a little bit about like how you got surfing, or one of your great surfing memories, your best wipeout, or so. Where were you raised? You were raised in. Where did you first surf?
Yeah, Orange County. My sister married Lance, and Lance was always on a board. So if you wanted to hang out with them, that's what you had to do. So I bought this big old 9-foot, piece of foam.
Yeah.
Covered with epoxy, and I was down at Huntington Beach in the David Nueva days.
Oh, I love David Nueva. Now, how
Yeah.
long was this board, and who shaped it? Do you know?
I don't even remember, but I bought it at Jack's.
Oh, Jack's Surf Shop.
Yeah, which is
Yeah.
where I still buy my board. So I just bought a new Stewart, and so I used to go
Which
out
Stewart? Which Stewart?
the Hydroglide.
Oh,
Let's
yeah.
explain to the
Hey,
audience.
we need some more ice here.
Let's explain to the audience who Jack's surfboard is.
Yeah, tell us who Jack's surfboard is.
I don't know the story behind Jack's, but I just know that there's now such a huge controversy. I live in Hermosa Beach.
Yeah, we love
And in Hermosa
controversies.
Beach, there's Spider and there's Becker, and they've owned it forever. They
Yeah.
own that market. And
Yeah.
Jack's came in, and everyone threatened to shut them down and do this, and Jack's is doing great. They're really a cool surf shop.
This is
I don't know
Hermosa
the
Beach?
story. In Hermosa,
Okay.
yeah. There's a Jack's in Hermosa.
But there's one in Huntington too, right?
Actually, the original one, I think.
Yeah. Who's Jack?
I don't know who Jack is.
How do you spell it?
Jack.
Oh yeah, okay, so normal Jacks. Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember seeing it in San Clemente. Okay, so you were paddling out where, Hermosa Beach? Mostly?
Actually, I was paddling out I was about 10 years old, and I thought, well, I'm gonna paddle out with the big guys at the jetty at Newport Beach.
Okay.
Oh my God!
Right?
Wow.
Wait, who paddled out? I didn't think people paddled out there.
Well, I don't know.
You're talking about the wedge?
No.
Okay.
There's another set of jetties down farther past the pier, and they come from the rivers come from inland. So I thought, well, I want to be with the big boys, so I paddle out, and it was really really low tide. It wasn't breaking very much, and I sat out there, and I was happy enough just to be out there.
Yeah.
Just to kind of be with the guys. They're talking kid this.
How old
that,
were you?
that.
How old were you?
Probably 10.
10. Oh yeah, I know those.
So
I
I'm
remember
out there,
those days.
and all of a sudden I could feel when you're sitting out that it's getting a little bigger, and
Yeah.
it's getting a little bigger,
Yeah.
and I'm like, I am so freaking out of my league at this point, but I'm stuck. What am I going to stay out there all night?
You mean you
So,
couldn't get in?
I couldn't get in, and it was too big to take off, and I wasn't that good, and I didn't know what to do. So I thought, well, I'll paddle in. So I start to paddle in, and someone yells at me, And I turn around, and there, honest to God, there's like this, I don't know, for me, now it's probably a 6-foot face or something. And I
But it was giant to you.
It's giant to me. And I start paddling back out to get over it, and it's like you go right up over the falls, and it's like, I just got crushed, and my board went into the jetty.
But no, you didn't have a leash then?
No, that was
So you went over the falls backwards?
backwards. So I didn't surf for a while. I thought, I want to play basketball.
Well, you're kind of more, your COG's a little bit high for normal surfer. How tall are you?
6'6".
6'6", yeah, that's
So
a little bit higher than
all the help I can get. That's why I'm here.
I don't know many surfers that are. Most surfing
It's
is
harder
really.
to surf when you're the taller you are, and it's just the same thing with sports like skateboarding and biking.
I think it's more designed for a gymnastic frame, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you went over the falls backwards.
Yes, it's the worst thing that's ever happened to me.
That's your worst memory
It is.
of surfing
Yes.
and of life. That's
No, not of life. Oh,
mean
I have
surfing.
many disasters.
I was thinking
in
you've
life.
lived a fortunate life, dude.
No, that's just the one that comes.
So that was when you. And how had you been surfing very much at all at that time? Or was that
No,
like your
not
first
much.
one of your first paddle outs?
Not much. And it's like, it's the old excuse that you get here and you go, I want to be in the water, but I had to work all day today. And you get to these places or get anywhere, and you don't take the time for yourself.
Right.
And it just sucks.
Well, I want to hear the lessons of life then. There's two. You just shared two lessons. One was you went over the falls backwards, and yet you eventually went out and paddled out and surfed again.
Yes.
So what was that life lesson?
That I love the water.
Yeah.
That the water is. I break people into two. So I meet so many people. And I do so much different stuff. There are people that are not water people, and there are water people.
Yeah.
Right.
I prefer water people.
But we're all 86% ocean, right? We're all salt
so
water.
you think, but these people that go up and I don't know, sit in a meadow and
Meditate on the daffodils?
Go to the water. Go to the water.
Yeah.
It's like I could sit on my balcony at this hotel for 8 hours.
And never go out. Yeah.
Never. You just look at it.
Yeah.
It's so peaceful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Almost as peaceful as this beautiful
Here, here.
Maker's Mark.
Yeah, we're not. This is Maker's Mark. We're drinking. This is fizzies.
Oh.
Did you think that was whiskey?
Oh, I didn't know.
We just dropped some root beer fizzies in that
Oh, that's
thing.
good. Good. That's all I like. A little root beer fizzy.
Yeah, and then you said something else. You said, okay, so and then because I remember, I think everyone who's ever been in the ocean remembers what you're remembering. It was a different version of that story, but when there's a moment when you realize that you don't have control.
Right.
And then you have to learn to either yield to the wildness of life and the wildness of nature, but there's a life lesson in there too. I'm sorry, it's a really nice cigar lighter.
It is. It doesn't work
But
like
it's
that.
and it was given to me by Arturo Fuentes when I bought these Fuentes. But they the butane I think is what's wrong.
I
So
think
you just
so.
gotta have to become very.
To push the top and then pull it down.
And you just gotta jump in on it without singeing your eyebrows.
That's pretty powerful.
So
I bought a lighter at the ABC store the other day.
Works better than these really
Doesn't
fancy
even
cigar
work.
lighters.
I was like,
like
it came home, it didn't work. It worked at the ABC store, but that was like.
No,
the
yeah,
last-
but just enough fuel in to light one cigar, maybe if you're lucky.
can I tell a quick
We want to hear it.
Yeah.
story? Has nothing to do with surfing.
What?
So I go to this.
Everything comes back to surfing
All right, well,
eventually.
good.
Okay.
So I go to this cigar thing called the Big Smoke.
Oh, in Vegas.
In Vegas.
I want to
right.
go. When's the last time you went?
Yeah, I go every year. It's every
I wanna
November.
go.
We're gonna go.
Go in November.
Road trip.
Road trip.
Road trip.
Road trip.
We'll do a podcast
It's-
from your hotel
why
room.
not?
Okay.
So I go to this thing, and there's like 50 or 60 cigar manufacturers, and it's like Halloween for cigar smokers. They give you a big bag, and you go to every one, and they give you a
You're
cigar.
kidding.
No,
Nice.
they give you cigars. So you walk away with about 50 cigars.
Wow.
So I'm up to this booth, and it's the Fuente booth, and there's this old man, and everyone's running up, shoving these coupons in his face. And he said, no. He said, I'm here for a charity, and this is a charity. And they're like, give me a cigar. The cigars are next door. So people are running past this guy.
Mm-hmm.
So I walk up to him, and I said, what's the charity? And he said, oh, well, we build schools in the Dominican Republic.
Oh.
And this and that.
wow.
And I said, I stopped in my tracks and I said, you're Arturo Fuente.
Was it Arturo Fuente?
Yes.
Oh
It
my
wasn't
gosh.
Arturo
Yes.
Fuente?
And so I said, I took out a $100 bill and I said, please, this is for the school. He said, nobody has stopped and even paid any attention. Can I give you a gift? And I
This
said,
is Arturo Fuente.
Standing there at the big
You guys,
smoke.
you know what these are?
Well, those.
Arturo Fuente's 100-year anniversary cigar.
He gave me 2 of them.
No kidding.
From himself, he went in the back of this room and came out and said, "This is my gift to you." And they were in this beautiful little box. And I went, these knuckleheads at this convention, whatever it is, have no. They're just running past this guy.
Yeah.
They have no idea that
He's
they're
like a god.
standing in front of a legend.
Yeah.
You know. Anyway, that's.
No, I love. I mean, I don't know why I never quite got past. I smoked a lot of different cigars. Never got past Arturo Fuentes. Once I found them, I just kind of got stuck there. You know, I started smoking cigars. I had a cabin up in Montana, which Shane, you helped me build, and we don't know anything about building anything. I mean, I can't hardly.
I was a kid though, but yeah.
Yeah, but I didn't know what the heck I was doing. But I built a little hunter's cabin about 4 miles from Canada, Glacier Park, and at night I'd be sitting there looking out at these beautiful. I mean, the stars were coming. Were just so close, and I would get these little bites, and I went into town, which is like 25 miles. You know, there's no electricity except for my generator, no telephone. You drive into, and the only way you communicate with your neighbors is you drive up and you write a little note if they're not there. You're not going to talk to them on the phone. And you get into Pole Bridge, which is got a log cabin.
It's probably still like
it's still the same. I looked at it on. You showed it to me on Google Earth.
Yeah.
A log cabin, restaurant, no gas or anything there. And I told him, I got this little bites in this. Well, you got to have cigars. They're called no-see-ums. That's why you can't see them.
Oh, no.
But so they sold me some Swisher Sweets.
Yeah.
And that was the beginning of my downfall. I think, Shane, you and your brother freaked out because you never saw me smoke anything before.
Oh yeah, that was scary.
You're like, oh my God, he's smoking. He's gonna die young or something.
Yeah.
But so that's how I started smoking. Then I kind of started getting better and better cigars, and then I stopped when I got to Fuentes.
Like a cigar, I mean, I don't know. You know, they're not as bad. I don't think as cigarettes.
You smoke a good cigar. You smoke cigars when you're like 17, and nobody can pull that off, but you could. So you know what we do on Sundays here, because I don't think it's appropriate to have a Sunday cigar.
Almost necessary.
Yeah. So what I do is I paddle out, and I have a nice cigar out in the water.
Nice.
And the whole key is if you can keep it.
Yeah.
From it's biodegradable too. So you're surfing out there, and it finally goes out, little stub. Just break apart the leaves and let it float away. But I think cigars and surfing, definitely go together.
Well, cigars and water definitely do.
Yeah.
To sit at the beach, have a cigar. There's nothing better. Nothing.
I know this is probably wrong to say, but to me, well, first of all, smoking a cigar is like a mini vacation, because you don't just sit. It's not a 2-minute smoke.
No.
And it gets rid of women. I mean, you sitting women here?
No, I see. Strangely devoid of women.
Yeah, and any woman that will hang around you when you're smoking a cigar is a pretty good woman.
Yeah, they're pretty awesome.
I remember the first time I smoked a cigar by Talon, she jumped in my lap and shared it with me. So that was the beginning of a great relationship. Yeah, but although right now we're like, you remember the old Get Smart TV show where you're locked behind all these doors?
Yes.
That's us. She's on the whole, as far as you can get from where we are right now.
You gotta have your man cave, right?
Yeah, this is the Bear's Den, the man cave.
Yeah.
So, so you're saying you had the wipeout, you went back. See, everybody has had that experience who's been in the oceans, had that moment of realizing that they're not in control anymore.
Right. I have a huge respect, and living in Hermosa and being able to travel around, I have a huge respect for the ocean. Just huge. And, I've had boats, I've had that, but you get out in the middle.
Are you a motor guy or a sail guy?
No, we had a motorboat until I found out my entire family got seasick, and then the for sale sign goes up pretty quick. Another shattered dream. Oh well.
Yeah, cheers to that.
Yeah, exactly right.
I don't know, man. You're in the company of sailors here, though.
Oh, love that too.
2 different types of boaters, huh?
Yeah, I actually took a boat from here to San Francisco. We were supposed to go to San Diego, but there was a huge storm.
Hurricane.
It was last year, right? That last year's hurricane.
A few years ago now.
Yeah, it's been about like 3 years.
Yeah. They're heading for San Diego, ended up in San Francisco because they had outchased this hurricane.
It was cool though, man. Like I went to San Francisco. Oh my gosh, it's so beautiful over there.
You went under the Golden Gate Bridge. He was filming something for some sort of documentary.
I was filming a documentary, and I came out like just.
But do you remember what we did when I went?
Such a renewal, it really was cleansing, because you're on the boat by yourself, isolated. You have a lot of time to think,
Wait, you sailed over this by yourself?
I went with 3 other people.
On a big research
4
vessel,
other people,
like a 180 foot.
Yeah, it was. He should I say his name?
Yeah, of course, Vince.
Yeah, Vince. He scans the ocean
Uh-huh.
and sells it to the military, and they buy
Just so you know, they're mapping the bottom of the ocean.
And then also Google, he added to Google Maps.
Right.
So
But-
his stuff's on Google Maps now. For if you ever look at the ocean, that's part, like he scanned it, and Google Earth is a 3D,
Yeah,
sim,
sure.
and you can look at the Earth, and then he scanned the ocean, they put it in there.
But do you remember?
So he's contributing to,
You know what's really bad though is going on
Science.
it was about a 2-week ocean journey, and you didn't have your cigars. So you remember what I did?
Yeah.
I had packed him up a bunch of cigars, and I look, he left and he didn't have his cigars with him. So
Didn't you paddle out? What was
I got my outrigger canoe,
Yeah.
and we paddled out about. The boats can't come any closer than like 4 miles.
Really?
So I'm looking out my window here. Here's the cigars, and I can see the boat leaving Kiwalos.
Mhm.
And I jam on my canoe, and I just trying to intersect this boat. And it was pretty cool because you guys actually saw me at some point.
Yeah,
and
we saw you. That
Like
was
I
so
wasn't
cool.
going to catch
I
him.
recorded it. It's all, I have it. Well, Vince has all the footage. Now.
Yeah.
I gave it to him. and
But then
he
you
gave
turned
me-
the boat.
He gave me this microphone up here.
Yeah, that's the microphone
This
came off that
$2,000
ship.
microphone.
Wow.
Awesome gift from him. He's like, here you go, man.
Really nice microphone. So Shane, you ended up. So the boat turned towards shore, and I threw up this big old bag of cigars for them.
That is such
It's a
a
great
great story.
Yeah, got it.
That's a
Yeah,
cigar
it's
smoker.
cool.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
So Chuck, you missed out, but Peter said he's going to get his private jet. We're going to all fly to Vegas.
Private what?
Is that technically a road trip if we take a private jet? He
Well-
goes to the smokeout every year in
Big
Vegas.
smoke.
Private what?
Yeah. I didn't say private.
No, I was.
It has a big Hawaiian logo on it. Have you seen it? I think it's private, but they always let more people on.
He flies Hawaiian Airlines so much that if he's running late, he'll call them,
Right.
and then they'll just leave without him.
Right, exactly. They almost did it the other day. Right. Did it from Maui this morning.
You missed out on hearing Chuck's Over the Falls story last week.
Man.
He went over the falls
That's
at
funny,
Jocko's
that's
on an
funny.
18-foot face.
Oh.
He went over the falls frontwards, and then he got to get sucked up and over the falls again.
I want to say right from the get-go, I'm not that big a deal.
You
so
don't-
you know.
you don't really need
Just
to.
so
you
you
don't
know.
really need to let us know that,
You
Chuck.
don't think much
Hey,
of
Chuck.
me.
Chuck, we already know.
I'd rather start at the basement.
Goes
or
without
something.
saying.
Chuck
The
is
Goes-
penthouse and fall
Right.
down.
Awesome.
Okay.
He's so humble, isn't he? That's his.
No, it's not
That's my.
humility. It's not humility. I just rather start from the basement.
Hey,
with
Chuck.
with a
Right.
brother I'd never met before.
That's just
Then
my cue to
let's
tell you
start
that.
the penthouse.
Is that my
and
cue?
go all the
Out
way
of the way.
down.
Take the elevator all the way.
Is that my cue to say
Right.
you're two-time world tandem surfing champion or something?
Yeah, but that's
Okay, well, I won't bring it up. You don't want me to bring up that you're a world champion. I won't bring it
I don't
up.
want any of that. I don't want any of that. I'd rather start with a brother and say, dude, I'm in the cellar. I'm in the basement, and we'll work our way up from there.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't define you, right? It doesn't.
No,
Yeah,
it
yeah.
doesn't define.
Yeah.
It never would.
Yeah.
Never
Yeah.
would.
Yeah.
Do you know how? Well, I got to know Chuck because he became my personal trainer. And he doesn't want anybody to know that he's my trainer because look at me, But the way we got to know each other is I actually could read his mind. Right? Do you agree?
That's bad.
Is there any doubt that I can read your
That's
mind?
bad.
Is there any
You
doubt
gotta
that?
explain that one.
You
But
guys
did
can
you-
read
do
each
you
other
agree?
mind on what time you
No,
guys
he
are-
can't read my mind.
Yeah, but when you do the training, you know what I
I'm
mean?
just
Like,
glad I can't work the lighter
I
either.
it's kind of like a child lock.
Here, Chuck. Here's a new Fuente.
I couldn't get it. I was like,
Chuck is smoking a
No,
1-inch cigar
I'm
here.
gonna do that. No,
He's
you're
gonna
right.
finish
Okay,
that. Nothing like a-
I'm not gonna.
You guys like my new ashtray?
like that. I was
It's-
just going to comment. It's beautiful.
You know why I got that? Because it's pretty cool ashtray, and it kind of got down to the fact that Talon didn't like having his cigar ashes in a glass.
Oh, wow.
Because we put water in here because then the
God
ashes
forbid.
don't blow all over the.
Right.
No, I could read his mind when I first met him. I could read his mind.
what do you mean by that? That's
I could read his mind. I could literally read his mind.
So
You mean
can
like you
walk
guys
up
got
to him
along
at
with-
any
you
point
guys-
and say,
No, not at any point.
not at any point.
Because there was a point when I told him, look, whenever you're around me, just think of a pink elephant butt, and that's all I will see, and I won't be able to pierce his soul is so pure that you can
Right.
just.
Ah,
No, we were at you describe it from your side, what it felt like when I could read your mind.
It was a long.
We finally sat down and we had a Christmas party
It was a long, long time ago,
back before the war.
and I don't like admitting anything I'm about to say. As I walked into the room,
There I was.
there he was, and he had this book.
No, I didn't.
You did.
I
You
had
a
several
book.
books. Several books.
Well,
Or just happened to be casually laying there.
yeah, it was all pre-calculated.
No.
It was,
Okay.
as everything else is in this world. And so, anyways, what was it? You had said that pick a word on this page.
Okay. What? Okay. I will. Yeah. What I did is I have this really cool book.
Yeah.
It cost me $250.
I'm gonna defer the rest of the story to Barry.
No, I'm gonna. You gotta jump in.
Just wanted you to know
Because you don't
that
know
right
the
now.
magic of it.
I need to light my cigar.
It's $250 book, dude. $250 book. Why would I spend that much for a book? Because somebody laid this trip on me. What it is this book has, it looks like a Daniel Steele book.
Uh-huh.
And in there, every word that has more than 3 or 4, every word that has more than 3 syllables, that's a noun,
Uh-huh.
and begins with a consonant, is the same word. So if you see if it starts with a B, it's always bartender. So I had all these books laying around. I go, well, anybody got a book here? And I pick up this book and I give it to Chuck, and I say, just find a word. I find a pronoun.
A pronoun.
A noun.
Which
I
had to
mean,
look
a noun.
up on Google
He didn't know what
first.
noun was. Yeah, I think you can.
So far, I'm right with Chuck on this one.
What is this?
I got
Person,
the
place, or
degree I
thing. Person, place, or
thousands
thing.
for, and I still had to look it up.
Person, place, or thing. And so he started going through the book, and he thought, here's a 3-syllable word. Well, just kind of meditate on it. Let me see if I can read your mind. And then I'd tell him, like, I'm having trouble. What? So many letters going through my mind. Well, just give me the first letter, because I don't know where this word begins and ends. And of course, then you can read their minds. And,
Right.
and you thought I was like demon possessed or something, because I did it with one word, and then I did it with another word.
You were Obi-Wan Kenobi for a while.
You got up and left.
For a while.
No, you got up and left.
Yeah.
You freaked out.
Well, once you started,
Reading your mind.
connecting, I almost got to the elevators. The next
No, you
day.
did go to the elevators.
I did, but I came back. I didn't go up. I came back out and went back. And I was
You
like,
didn't know which way to go.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know you. Now I would have probably,
Bitch slapped me.
fill in the blank.
So that's how I got to know Chuck. I was able to read his mind. So, okay, so we want to know more about what you're
Why I'm
up
here?
to. Well, we want to know who Peter is, first of all, more beyond
Yeah.
surfing. Because Shane especially, he's a filmmaker underway.
It's
Yeah.
awesome that you're here. It's really nice to meet you, man. It's really
Right
cool.
back.
I'm going to tell you. I'm going to give you my resume. I'm nothing.
That's exactly what we're looking for.
Good, because that's exactly what I am.
Well, it's a perfect
And I'm
match.
so
And his mother tells him
so
that all the time.
comfortable right there.
Right.
Just a
Just
peanut
right.
in the-
You have clawed your way to mediocrity.
Oh, thank God for
Oh,
that.
yeah, right to the middle.
I'm so comfortable. Oh,
Okay, but first
I
of
am the
all,
1% though.
1% of what?
Just so you know, I'm the 1%. I occupy 25 floors here in Foster Tower.
How's that?
You train, you help, right? Isn't that what you do?
I don't like the spotlight. Just leave
That's
me
why
out
you
of
keep
this.
interrupting us,
I
right?
know.
Go back to this man here.
That's why you kept. Okay, so but first, before you talk about why you're here in Hawaii,
Yeah.
it's like American Idol of coconut, of tropical. No, but we want to know more a little bit about what you're doing, what you do in Hollywood and stuff like that. We know you do commercials and sports, and you're an actor, and
Yeah, I don't act anymore.
yeah. But I remember you.
You used
Well,
to
thank
act.
you.
Tell
You
me,
used to
yeah,
act.
yeah.
Awesome, man.
I did like every bad 80s television show.
So you know the act. You know the like to be in the position you're at. You kind of have to know the broad spectrum of like how the actors are. Or I think it's good to know that.
It
stuff.
is good to know.
Yeah.
It was really good to start out as an actor because you realize when you're not an actor anymore that you should have never left being an actor because all the work is done before an actor gets there. An actor
Agreed.
shows up and you get your dressing room, you get makeup, somebody tells you what to do, what to say, and then you
Dude,
go home.
you do not need makeup.
Oh, yeah, I have it on now.
You've got it going on. I'm
Well,
looking at you right now, brother.
Thank you. That is.
Mic 3 to mic 4, bro. You're
Yeah.
all good.
Thank you.
Yeah. Talon was a makeup artist, Swedish Television. My
This
wife.
is what
yeah.
I hear.
So
I've never met the lovely talent.
we're hoping she'll come in here, but I think she's avoiding the
She's
smoke.
25
She's
feet
making
away.
poo-poos for us.
Oh,
She's
No,
also a
she's
chef.
not,
Hey,
brother. No,
dude,
she's not.
Did I go to my class reunion? I'm not
just
going to say
gonna-
how many.
gonna
I don't know.
kibosh
I think,
that right now.
I think it was a 40-year high
wow,
school reunion.
uh-huh,
Yeah. And I go there, and my best friend from high school is an attorney, and he basically interrogates Talon. He gives her a deposition. So how did you meet? We met on the beach in Waikiki. I was doing tandem surfing lifts, and she saw me doing it, and she used to be a national champion gymnast. Okay, how good is your cooking skills? I am a chef. And where are you from? I'm a Swedish babe. You know, so it's like, so all this stuff he was telling me is actually true. Yeah. So anyway, so you started out acting, and then?
I started out acting, and then I started producing commercials, and then I did a bunch of, I was an executive producer, and then I came over to television and did a whole bunch of television shows. And
which ones? Give us a few of them.
Oh,
you don't know what it's like for us in Hawaii.
Really? Oh, well, you know what I really had fun.
Your favorite one?
I came over here and did Magnum PI twice.
Shut up!
What?
Oh yeah.
You directed, produced, or
No,
acted?
No, I acted in. Acted with Big Tom.
Oh my
And
God,
people
that's
still come
so
up.
cool.
Like people that have no life will stop you in the street.
That's
and go,
me.
That's me
That's
too.
Chuck.
They'll
That's
go, Big Friday, and I'll go, or yeah,
Big Friday.
I was
Big
some
Friday.
pitcher that could only pitch on Fridays because the rest of the days, and I came and I got to beat the crap out of Tom Selleck.
Oh, you did? You got to beat up Tom Selleck?
And stayed at the Colony Surf when it was still a hotel.
Yeah.
not that
Right?
cool.
Wow.
Oh, he went down quick.
Okay, now
But it was a fun show to do.
can I tell you about my experience when I was almost on Hawaii 5-0?
Sure.
You were on Hawaii 5-0, Chuck. You were in like opening sequence or something,
I
surfing.
can't
Right?
copyright.
Tandem surfing. No,
legal.
Think
yeah,
about
we can't
this.
do that.
They tried me out a couple times. I haven't been hired yet. They wanted me to say thank you to a girl for giving me a free beer. And I thought that's my life. I mean, what would I be better at than that? If
Right.
someone gives you a free beer, and I couldn't do it.
Really?
I'm not an actor, no. And I was supposed to get shot and killed, and I couldn't do that. And then finally,
We could try that right now.
they hired me. They wanted to hire me to do a dental commercial,
Yeah.
I said, because every time I'm supposed to do something, all I do is smile and laugh.
Right?
And so they thought, you can be in this dental commercial, and I couldn't make it in time. Couldn't do
You're
it.
in the
So that was one of your best
Cigars,
memories,
man,
is coming
your
out.
teeth
Did
are
they
yellow.
play for your plane ticket and everything? Man?
For Magnum?
Yeah.
Oh, please, yes. First class. Stay at the Colony Surf, eat at Michelle's.
What
It was
airlines did you fly?
Back then, it was like, I don't know.
Aloha, Pan Am.
Probably Pan Am.
Yeah.
Dude,
Big
I-
747s.
Yeah.
Screw Kelly Slater.
Sweet.
I got a new hero. He's sitting right next to me right now.
Oh.
Yeah, thanks,
Come
Chuck.
on.
Thanks, Chuck. Oh, you're talking to Peter.
Cheers.
Yes.
Telling you.
Come on. He knocked
And,
out Thomas.
Yeah, so that.
GM.
But, I've produced all kinds of stuff. I've produced, I don't know, I think the coolest thing I did is that Fox let me go to Egypt and I opened tombs live on live television.
No
on
kidding.
37
You opened up like
real,
ancient tombs.
5,000-year-old tombs
Wow.
on live television on Fox.
Wow.
And it was, no one had ever done it. No one had ever done a show live from Egypt. And
Wow. Oh, it was live.
Live.
Oh, like Geraldo Rivera back in the
Kind
day.
of, so.
Only there were actually things inside this
Yeah,
vault.
so, we were nominated for Emmys and you like to win awards and do all that stuff. Not that
Holy
we won,
crap.
but anyway.
So if you
then
didn't do a good job, they gave you a ticket there. But if you did a good job,
Right.
you get left there.
It was-
If you did a good job, you get to come back.
No water in Egypt other than the Nile.
And I heard you
drink
can.
beer. You gotta drink beer.
Oh, it's the greatest beer in the world.
have
Is
to.
it really? How
Yeah,
do you
it's
know
called
that, Chuck?
Stella.
I just
Stella.
Stella, not Stella Artois. In this
Stella.
big green bottles. The big beer bottle. Man, it's great beer.
wait,
Wow.
I gotta wonder. What's this from?
Oh, this
Greece.
is from the hotel because you can't.
What
they don't let
hotel?
you-
It's the White
Sheraton.
Shop.
Send us a check.
Yeah,
So when you guys open,
sure. I don't even want to plug them.
It's so cool to have
when
Peter
you-
here with us.
Oh, this is the greatest day in the world.
This is the
okay,
biggest.
so when you open the tombs, what was inside? Like, what
We
was
found
the
some cool
conclusion?
stuff.
Really?
We found mummies,
Wow.
but
Any daddies?
no, we didn't find any daddies.
Mummies?
Grandmummies.
Mommies?
Some
Did you
old-
steal anything? Did you keep anything?
Yeah, you know what I thought? I had the greatest scheme because they said the sand around the pyramids was like the sacred sand. And I thought, well, I'm going to take like a 10-pound bag back home and I'm going to sell little vials of magic sand from.
Yeah, you could.
And I was going to sell it on the show.
Well,
like
I caught.
the commercial.
I sent you a check for $1,000. I never got it.
Wow.
Oh, I have your sand at the hotel.
Yeah, right.
Right. I have. Don't worry, I got it. No, you're covered.
Good, I could-
Totally covered.
But you told me it's magic. But what kind of magic was it? I mean,
It's Egyptian magic. Doesn't mean much now.
yeah.
But back then, oh, that was a
It was-
big
it was-
Dude, when I was a kid, I was told I was Egyptian.
You were a kid?
I was like a 10th Egyptian,
Yeah.
and then finally I find out. No, I find out
Also
it's
from-
gypsy.
Oh, yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Gypsy.
Egyptian gypsy.
Pretty
yeah.
close.
Same
Pretty
thing.
close.
Pretty close. Okay, so now we're in Hawaii, and You're up to something.
Is that where we are?
Yeah.
You're up to something.
So beautiful.
Why don't you just forget about the show you're doing and let's just go surfing?
I'm there.
Did you get a round trip ticket?
Yes, I did.
Oh, okay.
Sunday I go back.
That's
Sunday?
That's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
Back to 26
Okay.
for 2 weeks.
And we got rid of your plans for tomorrow night. We're going to Jimmy Buffett.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
What was her name?
Oh. Yeah.
No, his
Sorry,
wife.
sorry.
I've met his wife. She's beautiful
That
and
was
wonderful.
really rude. I want
Really,
to
and she-
apologize.
You know, think about you can learn a lot about a man by his family and they
And the
adore
ring on
you.
his finger. Yeah.
No, they adore
Yeah,
him.
she's a cool
yeah.
girl.
Yeah, she's a cool
Deborah.
girl. Deborah. Okay. Shout out to Deborah.
Shout out.
But we don't want her to really listen to this.
Thomas Magnum, I want to apologize to.
Why not?
Yeah.
I grew up with you and TC
What?
and Larry. And
What?
Higgins.
Oh, Higgins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you
And
meet Higgins?
And Apollo.
Was Higgins the owner of that place or not?
No.
He wasn't really the.
Higgins rented. Everybody else got to rent houses, and they had these cool places. And Higgins got one of these apartments.
What about
And he
Zeus
had-
and Apollo?
What?
Oh
The dogs.
yeah, the dogs.
The Great Danes.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Zeus and Apollo.
Yeah.
What happened?
But you know
to
what?
that?
Here's the I think the coolest thing that ever happened on a show is that he drove a Ferrari every year. Ferrari gave him a new car.
It was
So
red.
at the-
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So at the end of every season, they had this party, and the first time, this was all Selleck, and he said, "Get everybody's name, put it all in a fishbowl." They took it up. No one knew what was going on, and he said, "Hey, we're going to give a rat prize for the season." And
No kidding.
Dug around in this, took out a name, and he said, "Oh, it's Bob Bobman, whoever it was," and some guy that
Oh, how cool.
said.
That's what I am. I'm a grip on this,
One
of the-
on this
that's
Saturday.
cool, man.
I'm the grip.
Yeah.
You're the grip.
Yep.
Well, you're fighting me for that job because that's a good job.
Is this like
So-
probably the coolest? Go ahead.
So, and then he gave him the Ferrari and did it every year that they were here.
For
He
real.
did it.
Wow.
And he would do stuff like he'd do a commercial for a boat company over here, and they'd give him a product or something. He'd give it to somebody else.
Yeah, I
He
always
was the
thought Selleck.
coolest guy.
I always thought Selleck was cool. I used to be his neighbor. Yeah.
That's a lot.
In Thousand Oaks.
That's a full.
Well, if you went way over a mountain,
Yeah.
he was the next house.
Yeah.
About 2 miles away, but he was
Yeah,
the next house from us.
I had a
Remember?
friend that lived in Hidden Valley, and he had lunch with them one time.
Yeah, and he'd drive around in his big Hummer.
Yeah,
remember?
Yeah, and also he had a helicopter in his backyard.
Yeah,
He'd
that's
fly
cool.
around.
Yeah, that's cool. And we used to have, but I always thought he would be a great guy. But is this like the coolest interview
This
you've
is
ever
the best.
done?
It's the best.
Yeah,
It's
'cause
the
you're in
Hawaiian
Hawaii.
Tonight Show.
Yeah, you're you're in Hawaii.
Hey.
Bear.
So this is just our second one, so we're learning a lot.
We are learning a
It's
lot.
going well.
Yeah, we're gonna do this podcast every Aloha Friday,
Zeus, Apollo, heel.
Pauhana Friday, and I like it because there's not structured and there's no rules. And it was Shane was a genius behind this. Yeah, to do this podcast. So you're in Hawaii and
Higgy baby.
and you're.
I grew up on that show.
I love Tom. I love those. I love watching those old. You know what I like to watch? Okay, you know about Hawaii 5-0, right? The old Hawaii 5-0.
Yeah.
But how about Hawaiian Eyes? Do you remember that?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, they show. You don't get to watch that there, but they show that here every day.
Really?
Yeah, Hawaiian Eyes. So yeah, we got like 6 cigars lit, and there's only 4 people here.
5 cigars and 4 guys. I'm nervous.
Right.
The
'Cause
cigars,
some of us are
pow.
sharing.
My cigars,
Wait,
pow.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Who?
6 cigars,
What was
4
the name of the
guys.
person again who made your cigar?
Rocky Patel.
You
Rocky
got the, You got the
Patel.
darkest one.
Yeah.
Rocky Patel.
And that's not racist.
No.
I'm just saying.
Right.
Yeah, we don't want to be racist here among all these 4 Howleys,
Not at all.
these
Not
4
that
white
there's
guys.
anything wrong with that.
Right.
Howleys in paradise. What, Shane?
It is an election year, though. You know what I'm saying?
I just
I
said,
do.
oh
I'm right
no,
with
the
you.
racist
Oh.
card.
Oh yeah, we gotta have one racist joke. We gotta be a little bit edgy. So, and now you're in Hawaii.
I am.
And what are you up to here? Can you say?
We start shooting a show called Clean Break
It's
for television.
Fuel.
For Fuel. Part of the Fox Sports family.
Do you want me to give you a little insight on that? It's not going to make it.
No. Are you reading my mind?
Unless you
Bartender.
Unless you put Chuck in it.
unless you put me in that cast.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Did they
Just slide me in, and it's
Right.
just all.
Could make it.
Yeah, it'll go.
You know what his stage name is? We don't really let it out. I'm not supposed to say it, and so I won't say it's Chucky Peanut, but that's his stage name.
Yeah.
But I would never
just
bring
put
that
me
up.
in as an extra. I don't even care if I just hold something.
Whenever I've been an
off
extra,
camera,
whenever I've been an extra, they always go
it'll
like, "We're gonna need you. We're gonna need you like way over. Would you sit over there under that palm tree?"
I will direct cars. I'll do parking.
Right. Well,
just have me on payroll and it will make it.
Payroll.
Payroll.
This is not union wages.
It's called reality.
This is a reality.
Just give
So
me
so we want to know about the Fuel TV. So Fuel TV's out here, and you're going to be doing what?
Yeah, it's called Clean Break, where we take 3 guys that are watermen, but they're surfers and they're this and they've been in the water a lot, but they're at a particular time in their life that we've all been at, where like there's a guy that kind of they haven't lost their way, but it's those guys that you go, well, why aren't you doing this stuff that you used to do? Why aren't you in the water? Why aren't you out? Why aren't you taking trips, doing all this stuff? Well, these guys, like one of them has a 5-year-old kid. His wife makes all the money. He's a stay-at-home dad, and he's just kind of trapped a little bit. So we give him this clean break. So there's 3 guys. Another one of the guys, a guy named Luke, and what he's hit the baggage that he carries around is his brother is Aaron Rodgers. Quarterback of the Green Bay Packers.
No,
Yeah.
he's okay.
He's all right. He's okay.
He should probably keep going.
Yeah,
So
he's
I
got a
think
chance to make it.
Someday he's going to be
He
good.
might make it.
Yeah. So Luke's like, well, but I'm Luke. I'm a cool guy. I'm this. I'm a good surfer. This.
But
so we take
I'm
these
Aaron
guys-
Rodgers' brother.
Right.
That's who he's known for.
And he doesn't ever like to say that, and I totally, and Aaron's not a part of the show, of course, but this is Luke's journey. So we take these 3 guys, and we come over here, and the very first day, they're up on the North Shore, and they go out with this Kahia Hart. Do you know him?
Yeah. Oh, for
Right.
sure. Tahitian.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he goes to the, is it the Boar's Den? He's an MMA fighter, and he
Yeah.
trains guys.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay,
He's
yeah.
a bad
Donkey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And these guys will not know what hit them, but if they want to have this adventure, they got to do 3 things every day. They got to
3 things every day?
Yeah. So they're going to surf the North Shore. They're going to go out. They got to pick shrimp up in the North Shore. Those shrimp farms that
Yeah.
you take them out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
On the corner.
There's
Yeah.
all kinds of cool, very Hawaiian stuff. They're going to have the adventure of a lifetime.
Oh, God.
And we're going to shoot it with the best cameraman in the world. And then we give these guys camera to really record. They're staying in a house up at the North Shore, and they get to break away. They
How
get to have this
cool.
clean,
Clean break.
It's a really fun show.
Who's
Sounds
the
like
third
an
guy?
awesome show, man.
The third guy is a guy named Steven, who's a pharmaceutical sales guy, good surfer, and he is stuck. Hates his job, hates his life.
Don't tell that to the pharmaceutical company.
No, but he thought it was going to be like, well, I'm going to make a lot of money. He goes, it kind of sucks. So
Yeah.
he's really a good guy.
He's a mercenary. He's making a lot of money, but not doing what he likes.
3 guys are who?
Luke, Steven, and Chase. Chase is the stay-at-home dad. And they're all watermen. They're all pretty good, but they've never been tested.
Tell me about Chase.
Chase is the stay-at-home dad.
Where's he from?
Originally from Florida, I think.
Are they all Cali boys right now?
Now they live in California. Luke lives in San Diego. So they're all coming over. They've spent some time here, but they're never going to have a trip like
That's fascinating.
I know. I mean, isn't it like he's writing our script? Don't you wish you could live that?
Yeah.
Because you're pretty mediocre and stuck in the rut.
I am mediocre.
You're actually you said you're below that.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I don't mind that.
Yeah.
I have no problem with that.
Yeah.
So
But
they-
I love to hear about this. This is awesome.
Yeah, it's a fun show.
Yeah.
So we start shooting the 27th up on the North Shore, and we shoot for a week here, and then we go to Maui. And I just had like one of the epic dinners with Dave Kalama.
Oh, I love David Kalama.
He's cool.
Yeah.
Man, is he the man?
Yeah.
So he's going to do it. He's going to take him
And
out
I-
in Maui.
Yeah.
And he's going to.
But he's in Maui. I thought he was in
Yeah,
Big
he's
Island.
Big
Maui.
Island. Yeah.
Yeah.
Big Island guy.
And,
He's a Big Island guy, but he's going to meet you. in Maui.
Right. So he's going to take him on his paddle. That
Mm-hmm.
he said, if it doesn't kill him, they're going to be so happy.
Take
that
him
they
on what
finish
kind of
him.
a stand-up paddle?
Yeah,
Or?
like a 10-mile stand-up paddle.
Yeah.
He
They-
did want to take him Maui to Molokai,
You-
and I said, dude,
I want to do that, dude. It's on my
Yeah.
list of things to do this spring. We're going to do it with Paca.
That'd be,
So,
that'd be
Kalama,
a good
I met
project,
David
though, right, to
Kalama.
shoot that? Wouldn't you guys need helicopter dude?
Yeah,
Yeah.
We got,
helicopter.
we got boats and helis and all that stuff.
You guys would probably be the first doing that if you recorded that. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's really documented it too well. I haven't seen anything.
It's a new,
Oh,
it's a
so
new, it's a new
close to leaving
phenomenon.
the room right now
That's
because
so
I'm
awesome,
so
man.
jealous.
Don't cry,
I
Chuck.
love
Jealous.
it. I love it when
When
Hollywood
did-
comes here and
Well, you got to
make-
come out and see us.
Well,
you got to come
if
out.
you,
But you-
you want mediocre
Maybe
part of the
they
tour,
But Dave Kalama is, there's a certain thing about the Hawaiians. Some of the watermen are so powerful, and yet so humble, and that to me, the power and the humility together to me equals nobility.
Yes, I agree.
And
with you.
David Kalama is definitely in that class. I met him in Biarritz, France.
Really?
Yeah, when I was just learning to tandem surf back in the mid '90s, and he probably doesn't remember meeting me, but I remember meeting him, and he taught me some lifts before my first contest there in Europe.
He just lives a life that I think this show epitomizes, and I was so truly. I just think he's an amazing.
And there's
person.
so many people like that. I mean,
Yes.
when you walk along the beaches in Waikiki or in Hawaii, it's like walking with Babe Ruth and Mickey Mantle and Aaron Rodgers and all those guys. I mean, people don't know. Tourists, someone's taking them out to teach them to surf. They have no idea who that is.
Well, the one thing that you can say there is Aaron Rodgers. He sat behind Brett Favre for 3 years.
Yeah.
Right.
He was gracious, and the same thing with Dave Kalama, North Shore. You meet him, and he's
one of the innovators
gracious.
of toe-in.
He's gracious.
Yeah, you never know who he is.
He is very gracious.
There's so many people like that
Sets
you'll
back.
meet.
Yeah.
And you're going to do
Yeah.
many series, many years here.
Well, I hope
There's so many people. You know who I saw yesterday is Leleo Kinamaka. And he lived a little bit in the shadow of his brother Titus, And then Kimo Miranda, West Hawaii Water Patrol, Brian Kialana. Who else comes to mind? Archie Kalepa comes to mind.
Right.
There's
I think
so
Archie's doing the show.
Archie's one of
I think,
do you know the first world title? Archie came up to me because I had bought some Stickum. Remember what Fred Biletnikoff used to
Oh,
use?
of course.
I had some spray on Stickum that the cheerleaders at University of Hawaii had given to me, and I was spraying it on my hands. It helps a little bit in the water. And he said, "Bro, you can have some of that." He saw me doing it, and he didn't want anybody else to know I was giving him the secret
Right.
Stickum, and he sprayed it on his head, because he shaves his head.
Right.
That was beautiful. So because the girl pushes off the head sometimes.
Right.
That guy sent me a picture of him swimming with about an 18-foot tiger shark.
Wow.
Have you heard about that?
I think
It
that's
was in
what
the
he's
front-
doing with us on the show.
Front page of the Maui newspaper.
Right.
He
He's taking these guys shark diving.
no, but he swam.
That's
He
him.
jumped out of a boat with a helicopter shooting him, and he's
That's
swimming in the water. The ancient Hawaiians used to get a big shark between two outrigger canoes, and they would kind of drag him along so that he would fill up with water,
Right.
and then they would jump in and swim with him. And he didn't do that. He just jumped in
Right.
and swam with this thing. You got
Wow.
a picture of it, yeah. And he was the guy that did the opening dedication for us at a first world title. We all paddled out together because tandem surfers, a lot of them are really extreme watermen, good watermen, just looking for a new challenge.
Right.
And we paddled out after we did a big circle and did an opening ceremony. Then we all went over to canoes, and there's 24 teams. We had 18 teams caught the same wave and did lifts all at the same time. I don't think it's ever been done or ever will be done again to have that many teams.
Wow.
But that was Archie Kalepa. So he's when you're around someone like that, you feel like you're speechless.
Yeah. Wow.
But he's so calm and casual and humble that you can have a dialogue with him.
And I think that speaks to, the top of this sport as well. We were in New York earlier this year.
You were there for the ASP?
No.
Okay.
But we were there and we had breakfast through Quicksilver. They said Kelly Slater is really kind of interested in what you guys are doing.
He's pretty good.
Yeah, he's pretty good. And so he had flown all night and came to the hotel and came right down to breakfast.
What
And he's,
hotel?
Mercer.
Okay.
And he's sitting there and he's got all these guys and he's just looking at his phone. And I finally, because I just say what's on my mind. I go, what's on your phone that could be more important than this great breakfast? And he said, waves.
Waves.
It might have been a text from me, though.
It might have been.
It could have been.
Wait a second. That's exactly what it was.
Yeah. Sometimes
He was getting the Hawaii
sometimes
surf
I'm not
report.
really good at calling him back when I should. But
That's what he was a little upset
I tell him
about.
that's-
Chuck,
that's
you
just
never
part-
call back.
He was going
ABC's
back
at me, baby. That's the part of being.
I love
friends
this,
with
but
me.
this is like right there. That's a great statement.
And he said, waves. And then he looked to his manager, and he was going to like South Africa or something. I've never met the guy in my life. I'm just in awe of what he's accomplished.
Yeah.
And I'm just glad to be at breakfast where someone else is paying. So I get to order.
Oh, I love New York. But the Hawaiian boys, we love New York.
Oh
you know.
man, I'm telling you,
Vegas
I-
and New
I-
York.
the sausage, the bacon, the eggs, and everything.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I said, well, you got to show me. So he goes on Surfline, and he's watching that break in Tahiti.
Chopu, we were talking about that. They opened.
Chopes.
And he
Yeah.
said, it's breaking, so I've got to get to South Africa. I got to do what I do, and then I'm going to fly over there because I can't miss this.
Yeah.
And I was
Oh, how
like,
beautiful.
to be that passionate and
Yeah.
this successful.
Yeah.
That's to me, that's just.
But isn't that you though? I mean, you love what you do.
Yeah, I do, but I don't know if I would sit at a breakfast and watch television shows.
No, but-
this guy is, like
Yeah.
all of you. You take a cigar, you go out because that's what you love.
Yeah.
So you're combining those two things.
Yeah.
It's,
This is a beautiful lesson in life because I used to be a mercenary. I was a CPA for a big 8 CPA firm. Hated my life. But I made enough money to take care of my kids and that sort of thing. Eventually, I created a life that was different than that because, if you can create a life where because you spend most of your life working, right? If you can spend your life doing what you love, which is what you've done.
Yeah.
I try.
Yeah, I think
I
What
definitely
you do?
take the road less traveled.
Yeah.
I do stuff that,
Okay, I want to ask you a favor. Shane is a filmmaker.
yes.
I'm going to tell you who he is. I'm going to introduce you to Shane. Then I want you to talk to Shane.
Shane. This is Shane over here.
Okay, Shane is this. When he was, I think, 7th grade, he came up and said, "Dad, can I borrow your camcorder?" And I said, "No." He's you don't know, he's so casual. He's the most destructive man you'll ever meet. You see what he does in the water, you'll know what I mean.
Crashes everything.
No, he purposely
Cars,
he purposely
computers,
wipes out. He loves
cameras.
the feeling of pain.
Podcasts, he crashes everything.
We're going to call him Shane Crash Woznick.
Yes, thank you.
He should always have a helmet on, period.
When he was young, I felt like I was on suicide watch. But he came up, he's going to borrow your camera. And I go, no. His older brother just destroyed the last one doing skateboard videos. And I go, no. And I it wasn't quite like this, but it's almost like someone grabbed my shoulder, spun me around, like God said, give him the camera.
Right.
And that's been your life since then, right?
Yeah, pretty much. I always wanted to do it, but that was the moment I got my first camera.
And you were doing edits on those old school edit things, right?
Yeah.
Analog,
Right.
What was that
Firewire.
program I used to use? It was like Video
Horrible.
4 or something like that.
Right.
Some real.
You remember
generic-
that?
Like toasters and that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
right?
it was
That-
before, it was just at the moment when it was possible to finally edit on a computer. It was just at that moment, and I remember just, back then how amazing it was just to record, just to even
Right.
record a video,
Yeah.
Now it's just so common.
What-
with the iPhone and, all that stuff. You can edit on the iPhone.
But tell us every camera you've had. The
Mostly
Genesis.
Canon, mostly all Canons. Canon GL1, Canon XL2, and then my Canon.
Shameless plugs.
But before that, it was like
He
some
made
little
50
horrible-
grand right there, just in like the last 5 seconds.
I'm telling you, we still use
Probably
those.
not.
Those are, we're giving
Really?
the 3 guys little cannons, and they're going to
Which
record all
one?
the stuff.
Which one?
I don't know. That's not mine.
The newer ones, yeah.
He's going to get
Cheaper.
We're getting the XL.
HD, you have to shoot in HD, right?
Right, yes.
Yeah.
But we're getting. Which one are we getting this week? We're ordering a new one. What is it? Canon.
Oh, Canon XL-H1. It's
Yep.
gone down in price. It used to be like 8,000. Now it's
But I just remember, the thing about it is, you talked about the actors.
Right.
It's like in the editing room where all the magic happens.
Without
I
a
think.
doubt.
Yeah, the editor of Parks and Recreation.
That's what
She
I gotta
said
have
that.
in my place, the magic room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's
My
it's
gosh,
Forget about the man.
You're gonna have to ask.
Years.
You'll have to ask Talon about that room.
There is a
well,
purpose for this
isn't
podcast.
it when everything comes together? That's why they call it movie magic,
Sure.
because it's so difficult to map it all out. After you do it after a while, but it really is. It's hard. It's amazing how it all comes together.
The
the end.
producers of this show are, I asked, one of my mentors is this guy, David Hill, who's the chairman of Fox Sports. And he's like,
God.
he invented the 10-yard stripe, the first
Isn't
down
that
stripe.
cool?
Oh,
Like
It's his invention.
like
the
He's
red
such a
line.
guy-
The red line.
So I said to him, so we're going to do the show. Who should do it? And he said, Mike Hughes. Go get Mike Hughes. He's the best. He's young. He's like 32 years old. He said he's a
32. Yeah.
child genius. He's the hottest guy out of my stable. He's on his own. And he said, try to get this guy, Corey Brocious, who started as an editor. And they weren't going to let him leave an edit bay because he was so good. But he finally said, I'm going to quit unless you let me start to produce so I could shoot the stuff, then I'll edit it.
So he was directing too, or what do you mean by
He's doing
producing?
both.
Yeah, he was directing and producing and
He
stuff.
knew
Yeah,
because I can't go in the edit room if I don't get the
Exactly.
raw
Oh,
stuff.
So they're
that.
giving me stuff that I don't really want, so let me go make it and then I'll edit it. And so that's what. So we got him. He's doing this show.
So he
Yeah.
edits it afterwards.
Yeah.
That's
But he's
awesome.
out in front
Yeah,
saying,
he's
"This is
out
what I
in front.
want."
Both jobs.
Yeah.
That's really challenging to do. That's
Right.
hard.
And he's a young, cool guy that he cannot wait to get here. And we're shooting it with red cameras.
Oh, we want a red camera.
Yeah.
There's only a couple on the island, I think.
Well, yeah, we're bringing 3 in. So.
Oh,
It's kind of
jeez.
racist.
man.
Those are
red,
like
red
what-
camera's kind of racist.
What is it, like?
Yeah, a little bit.
But they're like
Little bit.
30, 40.
Well, it's not as bad.
But
it's election year. It's
But
election year.
they're like $30,000-$40,000
Yeah, they
cameras,
shot-
right?
Yeah.
they
I mean,
shot
to do
Social
that-
Network with that camera,
Mhm.
Social Network, and a bunch of other movies that every movie seems like they're shooting with it. It's so cheap,
I want to get
and the
one.
quality of it is awesome.
Change
What is it?
policy.
What is it? So that makes it so awesome?
just shoots at 4K. It shoots high definition, more than 1080p. It shoots at 4K.
And it looks like film.
It looks just like film.
You can control the light. It's just beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful.
It shoots in RAW. It shoots in RAW. Like, you know when you shoot in RAW pictures on the camera?
No, we don't, but go ahead.
Okay, well, people out there that know that,
I love
that's
this.
what the 4K, that's what the Red does. It shoots in video RAW. So you can mess with you can make stuff look amazing without using filters and without using, well, of course you have to use lighting, but it's awesome.
You're bringing more, there's going to be more Reds here than
are on the island.
Yes.
So,
yeah. Unless
Right
maybe Hawaii. What do they use? I don't know.
they probably Panavision.
They use purple?
Actually, I looked through one of the cameras and they use Panavision.
Look, they're shooting Hawaii 5 over here at the Marriott, right? We just happened to go over there because Ramo Basals is one of our friend. He's the graphics guy.
Oh, name dropping.
He's a beautiful guy from. I mean, he's just
I know Shane.
Cool guy from Spain.
So do I.
No, but we go over there and all of a sudden they're saying, "Well, are you guys part of the? Are you on the set or whatever? Are you in the? You an extra?" And I go, "Well, no." And then they point at Tal and they go, "Well, you're gonna go sit over here."
Right. You can stay.
We were going over there to get in the jacuzzi, so she's in her bikini.
Grab some
And then
poo-poo
Shane
for us.
jumps in and checks out the Panavision, I guess. Huh?
The guy was really cool. I don't remember his name, but he was like, "Yeah, you can check out the camera. Look right through it." And I looked right through the camera, and I was like, "This looks just like my camera," you know. But obviously not, because just looking through the little eyepiece, it looks like the same.
Right.
The coloring was the same, but I'm sure it shoots in RAW again. It's all digital, and they can really mess with the color settings, and that's so important. Color, it sets the mood, So.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to do some fun stuff, we think, this year. Well, the podcast is kind of his genius. I mean,
I love it.
We have coffee every morning at 6.
Really?
Shane and I, yeah. And we just,
Same place?
Yeah, next door.
Yeah, next door down here at the
Join us
coffee
if you'd
shop.
like.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because I'm looking for breakfast tomorrow.
Come join us. Yeah, absolutely.
At 6.
Well, whatever time you
Yeah,
want.
I'll be sleeping, but I'll be thinking of you.
Okay.
Go ahead and enjoy.
He'll be
I'll
deep in
sleeping.
prayer, laying on his stomach, asleep.
1306 is where I live.
There is no 13th floor on this. He's telling that to all the
Shut
stalkers to try to throw him off.
Exactly.
But he
Knocked their son
God,
off
he
the trail.
knows so much. I mean, it's just that generation. I just like ask him a question and start getting all this. And I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot. I mean, I think I've learned what I don't know. Basically, I'm at that stage now. But we want to do this little. We're doing the podcast, which was Shane's genius, and my book just went to the type print today.
Awesome.
Today, and it's kind of exciting. And then social media networking, that's the whole thing. And you're doing webisodes, not just the TV thing.
Right.
So where do you think it's going to be in 3-4 years? Will the webisode be more than the TV thing, or?
Well, it will be this year too. I think we'll probably end up on Yahoo, and Yahoo will dedicate a page, because the kind of television I do, I work with major advertising brands. So like Schick has a razor called the Hydro.
No, you will?
Yeah.
Because I tried to order one and it was on back order. They wouldn't send it to me.
I have the new Power Hydro for you.
That's what I want.
I'll bring it tomorrow.
What's up?
That's so cool.
Yeah,
Why? Because
yeah.
you notice I didn't shave. Is that what you're saying?
Look at
No.
me. Look at me.
Mom, I didn't
Days
shave
right there.
I didn't shave today. No, for 4 days.
Yeah. So the Hydro is all about water. So they wanted to do a show
Yeah.
about water. So they're our client. I went and I said, "This is what we're going to do," and they're so excited. They're all coming over here, and
Who's they?
all the Schick guys, all the big clients.
Watch your mouth.
I mean, we don't
Family
cuss it. We try to. We
podcast.
edit that out.
Shit.
He's so full of shit. Just get rid of that. Edit that out, Shane. God, now he's got to go in and edit this.
Oh,
So I want one of those. I ordered one,
I have one for you.
and it was on. They couldn't get it.
it's
Just,
mine.
I
Just one?
love those.
There's 4 guys here. You got just one?
No, I'll bring more.
Okay.
They're at the mainland, but I'll bring them.
That's all good.
So, so I have breakfast with him every morning at 6, and then he just blows me away with what he knows. And so our next thing we want to do is,
Thanks, Dad.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
thanks, Bear.
Well, he's become one of my best friends.
Touches me right here.
Oh, I love that.
And
You know.
but I have 4 children, but Shane and I are like every morning we have coffee together, and so we have this thought of Talon. She spent 10 years, 12 years in Swedish television, and she always wanted to do some sort of reality show. And every time we've had 3 different group of people come out here to talk to us about reality shows, and every time they want to see what I like about what you're doing is it's drama, but it's an uplifting, real drama, and they want us to it always starts out good, but it always ends up in like, well, what couples will cause what troubles, and
Right,
they want to have petty drama, and I don't want to do that. So Shane says, let's do, and he wants us to do, and my wife's a chef, right? So he wants us, the way it is nowadays, like Chuck and I have both done this, where we've surfed the Mascarette, the river in France, where you go upriver on a tidal bore. And we have our, and your brother-in-law Lance loves stand-up paddle. Wherever we can go, we can bring a surfboard now. Right. Remember when I met you?
Yes.
I had basically talked him into let me have his trisect board because it was too late for him to pack it up. And after I saw you, I surfed that board in Estonia, Thailand, Sweden, France, Spain, because it's a trisect board. So wherever we go now, we can have a Waterman's webisode. And that's what he wants to do, kind of like an Endless Summer meets Anthony Bourdain.
Right.
We can do you mean the podcast? We can do it somewhere else.
Well, the podcast, but I mean the webisodes that you want to do, the actual kind of like travel, Endless Summer / Anthony Bourdain. Yeah, so, and because I'll be promoting this book, I might as well throw some cameras in the gear and...
Well, like when I
Think about how cheap it is to do that now.
Right.
When I went to Nepal and I filmed the whole trip, and like, it was just like the whole time was on work. It's like when I was in a different environment, it was like, oh, I better start working. It's like It's almost like it makes you want to work because there's so much beautiful stuff to shoot.
Well, and also, that like I travel all the time, and I'm always in different countries, and I'm always on different airplanes. So my daughter, who's 10 years old, my very youngest daughter, because I was married again, my Deborah said we're gonna have a child.
That's what Talon's saying too.
All right. So she's me. I finally have me, and so we go on YouTube. And you look at interiors, people film their plane journeys. And so I said, let's see if we can see, because she's never been to Honolulu. She comes on the 29th first.
Oh, how cool.
Right?
Yeah.
So she said, what's it like landing in Honolulu? I said, I bet you we could find it. And we have
Isn't
some
that amazing?
that filmed the entire landing.
What a
on right?
Yeah.
And it's like, how cool is that?
Yeah.
There's content
And
everywhere.
And
everyone absorbs it.
I can sit on my beautiful couch in my living room on a big screen TV, click on Apple TV, go to YouTube,
You bet.
and it's there. I
Search
go to
what you want.
iTunes, and it's there.
Well, and YouTube is creating channels so that you can go and go, you know what? I love, Hollywood stuff. There's going to be a Hollywood channel.
I didn't know that. Did you know that, Shane?
Yeah, there's
They're launching
categories.
10 channels.
When we upload a video, there's categories to put the
Yeah.
video under, like sports. or
And I just put
entertainment.
sports.
Yeah.
How cool. I mean, because I think that, we've had these people come to us that probably have a little bit of money behind them, but I don't want to go there. We can kind of do an end around. We can kind of take it slow and build slow and
End
build
around.
a
You
following.
went football on me right there.
Well, it is football
went
season
Boise State
all year
right
round.
there on me.
No, not Boise State.
I know. I'm saying
That was a Statue of Liberty.
Smurf
That
turf
was a
trumps
Statue of
all.
Liberty,
Smurf
not
turf
an end around.
trumps all. Come on.
That was a Statue of Liberty, not an end around.
Well, they do that too.
Yeah, we live football in Hawaii. People love football in Hawaii, and we love our Hawaiian
It's
Warriors.
so part of the culture.
Don't even start, and don't talk about Baylor.
June Jones.
Oh,
June.
don't.
Oh.
That's
Yeah, June Jones.
those are fighting words around here
Are they?
sometimes. Yeah,
Has he left?
yeah.
Yeah.
But we got Norm Chow coming now, so
Oh,
we're
that's
happy.
right.
Norm.
And who was the big quarterback that didn't?
That was
Cheers.
Colt.
Brandon.
Cole.
He got injured right out of the bat.
Car
So
crash. That was
and
a big guy.
then he had a car crash too.
Now he's gonna go
We
to
love
Canada,
Colt
right?
though.
He's transferring to Canada.
That's the way life is here. I mean, we're so lucky to have Peter here. But that's
we
the
all
way it
getting
is.
crashes.
You live in
That's
Hawaii,
why
the
I'm
greatest.
Shane
It's
here.
like people wash up
Crashing.
on shore. You get to meet the greatest people. But we were at Duke's restaurant, and this couple walks in. They're kind of looking around, trying to find a place to sit. Well, come sit here. You guys need a place. Come sit here. It's Colt Brennan's parents.
Is that right?
Yeah. So then we got to what do they call
I
that?
didn't hear about this.
We got to tailgate with him every
It's fun.
day after that.
You met.
Well, you didn't show up for the games, dude.
Oh yeah, I didn't go to those ones.
Yeah, we love our Hawaii football. But my alma mater, I wanted to say this because Nick DeMarco, my cousin, is a
Baylor.
colonel in the Air Force. He's going to show up maybe later, but he's not. We thought we'd kind of try to find a replacement.
RG3.
And we squeezed you in, Peter.
Yeah, well, that's nice.
No, but Colonel
Squeezed him in.
DeMarco, dude.
Whatever. Yeah.
He's the Basco. He's a Basco. He used to play college basketball. But my alma mater, Baylor, I don't want to, I want to try to stay as humble
sure
as I
you
can.
don't.
Doing what they did in football. Now both their teams are seated really highly in
Yeah.
basketball, men and women. They won their game
Right.
yesterday. So don't we have to talk about March Madness for a second?
March. And Madness.
It is March.
Sure.
Or St. Patty's Day, whichever.
St. Patrick's Day, is that tomorrow or today?
Tomorrow.
Do you know where the hottest party is in Hawaii for St. Patrick's Day? We're not going to be there.
2503.
Chinatown.
But no. Do you know where it normally
04?
is? In Chinatown. And then
They told me that at the hotel. This girl leaned over and
Whoa. What's her name?
She's Miss Jameson.
Miss Jameson.
of the whiskey family.
Yes.
MISS.
Wow.
She's going to be Miss Jameson tomorrow in the parade.
Oh, she is.
She is.
Well, you know, so I'm watching the St. Patty's Day parade about 4 years ago, and I see this guy screaming and yelling at me. I think he's yelling at me. He's yelling at his dad.
He's homeless.
The Chinese guy. His dad's a Chinese guy. He's the guy in the Chinese son in a St. Patrick's Day parade. And then you go to Chinatown to go to St. Patrick's Day to celebrate it in Hawaii. That's what the world is coming to.
That's what Miss Jameson said.
That's what's so cool.
At the Rum Fire doing.
Oh, I love the rum. When were you at the rum fire?
Just before I came here.
Oh, I would have.
It was my pregame.
I love the rum fire. Do you know what the rum fire was designed to be? A cigar bar. I smoked one cigar there and then shut it down.
/ casino.
Was it?
Now it's no longer a cigar bar.
No, they shut it down.
I guess they can't do that though because of state law, right?
I don't know.
You can't smoke in bars anymore.
All the party poopers.
Yeah, you got to
shut it down.
2504 to smoke a cigar.
I didn't know you were such a cigar smoker. That's so cool.
You know, seriously though, we're all sitting here, 4 guys, and you got the darkest cigar, which makes you the king.
So tell us more about your cigar life.
It is the cheapest cigar of all of these.
Which makes me want to go refresh all our ice cubes. That's where I'm.
Did you have any more fizzies?
I don't even know what that is.
So you have let's hear about your cigar life.
I like it. I joined this place in Beverly Hills. I had no idea what it was called. It's called the Grand Havana Room. It was
Beverly Hills.
Come on.
I've heard of that.
Right, it's a private cigar, but I just went because they said, well, you get your own little locker and you put your cigars. And I was like the most mediocre person at this whole cigar place. But this guy, Rocky Patel, was also a member.
Is he friends with Brandon Walsh?
No.
Okay, that's all right.
And then
Name dropper.
Then I'm at the Big Smoke, and there's this huge line of people, and they're waiting to have this guy sign a picture. And I said, "Who are you waiting for?" And they said, "Rocky Patel." And I said, "Rocky Patel? He was like we used to have chicken wings together." And they said, "No, he's like a big cigar maker. Like he's a billionaire now." And I went, "Really?" So that's what I smoked at. So I ran into him, last year at some event we were doing. And
what event? I want to hear what event.
Oh, it was the Lake Tahoe American Century Golf Championship that we do.
Do you golf too?
Yeah, not really, but we shoot a show there for NBC.
You
Sports.
golf with Ron.
What do you do? What is it?
It's a show called Training for Tahoe. It's this guy who's on The Office. If you ever watch The Office, he plays Kevin. His name's Brian Baumgartner. So it's his personal journey to be a better golfer, and it airs on NBC Sports. So we do it. This will be our 3rd year this year.
I think golfing is harder than surfing.
Oh, well, I don't know. Surfing is hard for me because I'm so tall, but maybe you guys can help.
Well, wouldn't golfing be hard for you too because you're so tall?
Everything's hard because I'm tall.
Yeah.
Other than
attracting women to you.
Yes,
that's easy.
Flies to honey. No, I wish. I've been married my whole life. 2 different beautiful women.
Since you were 9 years old? 10 years old?
Right after I went over the falls. Then I got married.
What was the biggest wipeout then? The going over the falls or?
No, my first marriage. Well, thank you. I'll be there all week.
Yeah. So, okay. So we got to wrap it up here pretty soon, I guess. We don't have an actual ending to our show. Okay. Here she is. Talon's in the house. We're about to wrap it up, honey. Come and say hi. Come and say hi. Too much cigar smoke. I think. Did you just see that?
It's too much male.
Too much testosterone around here.
Maybe.
Did you just feel?
Just doesn't get it,
I felt a little bit of that. Yeah.
I felt the testosterone level just drop all of a sudden.
I was just like when we're starting talking.
I think he's telling us it's Pauhana.
Just zones out like.
It's Pauhana.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, because now after this we have some poo-poos and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. Where did Chuck just go?
I don't know.
I hear moaning or something. I wonder where Chuck went.
Yeah, he went on the fizzy run.
He went on a fizzy run. Okay, I think he went to the bathroom. That's a problem when you don't have any sponsors.
You're right. No breaks. We'll work on that.
Hey, let's call that. We could change the name of our show to the No Breaks Show. Yeah.
No breaks.
Okay, so Shane, how do you want to wrap this up?
It's about as long as the last podcast. So.
Okay, because we don't have any real ending.
Hour and
Okay,
23
so what
minutes.
we're going to say is follow you on Twitter.
Look for Clean Break on Twitter, Facebook.
Clean Break. At Clean Break. Clean Break on Facebook.
Right, and go buy the Schick Hydro. It's a great razor.
It is a great razor. I
It is a
want
great
that.
razor. Yeah, well, you'll get one.
We'll get them as our sponsor. We'll get $1. We'll get a free razor.
If I had people that, would run around for me, I would send them to the hotel and bring it back.
You don't have people?
I don't have people.
Oh my God!
I
See,
know.
You didn't bring your driver with you
No,
either,
I didn't.
did you?
I don't.
I'm not talking about your golf club.
Nope.
So, Twitterverse, at Bears Wave, at Shane Woznick, at Chuck Inman. Don't forget, you guys, please look at Amazon.com, my book, Deep in the Wave. It's on pre-sale. You can go to bearswave.com if you want to check out Shane's YouTube videos. And anything else you want to say, Shane?
Ahui ho.
Ahui ho. Aloha until next week's podcast. Aloha. Thanks, Peter.